Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Total War Elven Realm campaign, and in this one we are about to start making some gains, making some progress with regard to our borders. We are able to assault Thrimfield on this turn. It looks like Dale is gathering nearby, but they don't quite have the courage worked up yet to attack us, so we'll just go ahead and jump into this siege assault. And we're using our tried and true tactic of just bringing archers up to the walls. Okay, that was well timed. And taking out the enemy general, apparently. We've got a few woodman bows inside, but the rest of this is low-tier infantry, it looks like, so we should have no trouble cleaning up the rest of this. So Thrimfield taken, we can now choose to, I guess we'll occupy this one. And we may as well clear out some of these other Dale stacks standing around outside here. So let's do that. Let's take everybody outside and see if Dale will stick around for a fight. Oh, and they will, at least temporarily. We'll see if they feel like hanging around once they get to the battle map. They've got a lot of low-tier stuff here as well, so they may take the opportunity just to retreat. And it looks like we've got a very interesting undulating battle map here. I think the reinforcements are going to come off from over to my left, but we'll see where they're deployed. Okay, there's the major army. And reinforcements are way downhill, so I think we'll just get some cavalry over there to shoot up at them and march everybody around over here, I guess, the infantry and the major part of the army. And we'll try to get some high ground on the main force that we're attacking. Well, Dale is only too eager to oblige. They're actually coming down off the hill. They don't have any long-range archers, I'm realizing, so may as well not beat around the bush here. Let's just rush forward. We'll get our main front line of our retainers just ready to smash into these lines. It's almost entirely melee guys. There's a few Rovanian skirmisher types, and I guess they got one unit of Rovanian hunters, but no longbowmen in either of these armies. This one is all Dale Watch and Barding militia, so you feel kind of bad. The Dale armies are not really what they used to be, apparently. But let's see here. Yes, we can just go right forward. We go to the Black Spears there. That's the only unit that I'm slightly worried about here. And as for the rest of it, our archers and our retainers should take care of it quite handily. I guess we want to make sure we don't get outflanked, so we'll bring the cavalry around. But it's more to protect the cavalry than anything else. We're not really concerned about any of these other units. Our archers can just skirmish away. I guess the axemen, maybe the Sylvan axes, I don't want to get into too much trouble. The woodman axes may end up charging at my calves, so we'll just run them away. I kind of like to keep those Rovanian rider mercs around in case they might come in handy for some charge later on. But yeah, let's focus on the Rovanian hunters with our bowmen. And I just heard the retreat order. So it's time maybe to bring everybody back, although I'm not going to be too concerned about this. If we don't clear out all of these units on the retreat, we're still going to have done a lot of damage. Well, all in all, not a bad day's work. Yeah, there was nothing too terribly threatening here, but there was a lot of it, so it's nice to clear out as much as we did. Okay, so we got those couple of stacks out of our face, and now it's time to move on, and I think I'm going to take this army south. I think what we'll do is just get off of the ground for a moment. We'll get out of this territory, and then we're going to give Thrimfield away. I don't want to hold on to this necessarily. So here's what we're going to do. I know this seems a little strange. We're going to offer this to the Bjornings. Now, there is a reason for this. First of all, let's see if they'll take it. Okay, we're going to offer them 3,500 Mirian in addition to Thrimfield just as a gift, and they will accept. Now, why would I bother doing this? Now I've basically doubled the Bjornings' territory. They only had Holt, and now they've got Thrimfield. What I'd like to do is grab Holt for myself, and then we're gradually just going to move the Bjornings down into the Brown Lands. I mean, it's fitting, right? These are the Brown Lands. The Bjornings are brown. It works. And my goal here is I want to have a faction between me and the big enemy that I don't really want to fight forever, i.e. Adunabar. And I want that faction to be one that Adunabar is not likely to attack necessarily. I think the Bjornings might fit that bill, because currently Adunabar is not allied to them, but they are allied to Dale, and Dale is allied to the Bjornings. So they seem to be kind of in a sort of a loose coalition, if you will. At any rate, I don't think that Adunabar is going to claw over Bjorning territory just to reach me. So that's the idea. We'll give the Bjornings Thrimfield, we'll give them mid-deeping. Maybe we'll take Thrimfield at some point, but honestly, I don't mind having just Holt as a choke point because this really does command the eastern path, or the path through the center of the Greenwood. Thrimfield is much less of a concern, and honestly, the Northmen have ruined this anyway, right? They've cut down all the trees. It's been like this it's been clear-cut for thousands of years at this point, so they can have the mess that they've made. Of course, this does mean that now I'll need to get an army back to take Holt, but I want to give that a little bit of time. In other words, I want to get Holt myself, but I don't want to destroy the Bjornings while I do it, because otherwise I'll just share a big border with Rovanion and whoever else. We're going to use the Bjornings, whether they like us or not, so I need them to stay alive. What we're going to do ideally is wait until we can identify that there's a family member inside Thrimfield, or at least outside of Holt, before we take it. So we're going to give this guy a march order up back into Bjorning territory, maybe call them out, let's just see what they have in the region. We'll get a scout back up there as well, see if we can identify who is where. Well, I just noticed that this turn something rather ominous happened, and that is the Reunited Kingdom has finally taken Forodrain from Adunabar. Let's just get a scout up here, see if there's any other Adunabar presence anywhere in the north, and I don't think so. It looks, yeah, the Reunited Kingdom has taken Forochel, which is the only other settlement up this way. They've taken everything over to the west, which means now we share a very long border with the Reunited Kingdom, and they don't really border any other proper factions. They do border, I guess, let's see, since they have this, they theoretically border the dwarves right up here, and they border the Shire, they border us, and there are some rebels, or actually Dale used to have this settlement. So the next thing we may see is the Reunited Kingdom attempting to take these orc holds. We've got Mount Graham over here, we've got Angmar East, which is really just a small orcish hold, and then we've got Gundabad. All these are currently rebel held. There may still be a Dale army hanging around. There may be dwarves attempting to take this back now that they border it, but once these places fall to the Reunited Kingdom, I'm a little concerned that they're going to turn on me. They're not such a huge threat, I think, because they don't have that much strong territory, and the North typically doesn't allow them to train super great units compared to what they can do in the South. But of course, it would be very unfortunate if we did end up going to war with them, so have to think about this. Okay, this right here is the sign I was looking for. We've got a Bjorning family member moving down to Thrimfield, which means I can start to move north. On the other hand, there are these large Dale armies in the area, and I feel like I should probably try to take them out on my way. So let's go ahead and attack Glum. Looks like he's going to stand and fight at least for a moment, but he has a lot of stuff that I'm not really worried about. A couple of units of Barding Longbowmen, though, so we should watch out for those arrows. Well, I really hope they stick around to fight. We've got a nice open field. We've got slight advantage in terms of the height, the terrain here, and I think we can take out a huge number of the Dale army in this fight. They do have some black spears. Where are they? Somewhere around here. They've got, I think, just one unit. A couple of those longbowmen, some cavalry, so again, these units could do some damage for us, but we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to try to rush our generals forward in a mad dash, try to contain what we can, and then use our cav to, I guess, try to counter theirs. Alright, Dale Watch, Rovanian Axemen. Bring our own axes over here. Alright, let's charge in with our axemen as well as the cav. That should just sweep away that unit, and then we'll halt everybody. Let's get our axemen back behind the archers. Alright, it looks like our general here is taking some losses. What is that? Who knows? It's possibly archers. It could be just a result of skirmishers, or maybe the black spears, javelins. Speaking of which, okay, here they are. There's only 22 of them. There's some cavalry, but we're doing just fine. Alright, they just gave the head for the hills order, so that means it's time to bring our horse archers over and our cav to circle, but our archers are still firing. We're going to do a lot here today. I would like to see if we can grab that general before he flees the field. We might be able to get him with our horse archers. As you can see, he's still taking some losses here. These other units are going to take up some of the targeting priority as he passes on the other side of them. But we're easily going to outpace him, so we could get him in melee, and I think our horse archers are going to be just fine in that matchup as well. Alright. Now we are going to get caught by these axemen and longbowmen in the melee, but we brought down that general pretty quickly. And I guess I'm not too concerned about this. With the loss of the general, we're going to do okay. And I've got to say, I am very impressed with these horse archers. These elven scouts look very light. They're basically just mounted elven bows. Short swords, not too much armor, at least what it looks like. But we have upgraded them with some armor in Dale. And I think even without that, they're a really, really good unit, even in melee. And we've still got plenty of movement points to move on. We may as well pick up some mercenaries too, but let's do it as we're a little further along the path. Let's see, do I want to bother taking this guy out? Sure, let's see if he'll stay and fight. He won't, so we'll have to follow up with an attack and see if we can eliminate this other family member. Alright, so here's us, and here's them. So it's going to be one of those battles. Well, we've managed to work up this side of the hill and get on just about even ground from them. Unfortunately, they have no archers. I guess taking out Dale and Esgaroth has really put a dent in their longbow production. But their black spears are moving forward. The Ravanian axemen are moving forward. Their cav could do some damage to us as well. But we're not going to wait around for it. We're just going to send all of our melee guys forward. Our archers are going to be doing their thing here any moment. Actually, they already are. And then we've got to bring the other cavalry around to kind of protect the flanks, I guess. Yeah, those black spears are going to get a throw in. The axemen are going to charge from the other side. Really not concerned about any of that. So we've managed to get our cavalry around the back, and let's see what they can do against these dragon slayers here. Now, these are just the Rovanian rider mercenaries, but they are pretty effective at taking out enemy generals like that. They do have a bit of an anti-cavalry boost because they've got lances, but I don't think they got a good charge there, so we are going to take some losses, unfortunately, among these guys. We can get more where they came from. They're a fairly common merc unit in Rovanian, but there goes the general. I guess with that we could just pull out and not worry about this. Our archers are just completely wrecking all these other loose units of infantry that are not caught up in the main melee. And yeah, we'll bring these other horse archers down to take out the remainder of the bodyguard unit, crush the rest of these guys, and then get headed back into the north. And I think the time has also come now to take Oldberg. We've got it under siege. It's been under siege for a little while now. We've got all the rams we need to take this place. There's not too much that's very concerning inside, but outside we do have some approaching enemies. Could give us a bit of trouble, including a fully fresh unit of Olag High. So I'd rather take the city now before we start fighting a multi-army battle with that unit in particular. So we've brought our archers up as normal, made a hole in the gate, and now we've got our shield-walled Elven Retainers as well as our Noldor swords, just providing a backstop for all this mess of infantry while our archers do their thing. We've already taken out probably several units. Some of those include some Rohan levies. These are some light cavalry lancers, which could be a problem. Inside, probably the unit I'm most concerned about now is these Adunabar nobles, though. But our retainers are going to cut through this infantry and deal with those guys pretty quickly. So yeah, we've got him back to the plaza here. The general is running out. But tell me this isn't a pretty intimidating sight. I mean, you've got all these elves in shield wall lined up, spears sticking out, marching resolutely toward the center of the plaza. They're not going to hold out very long against us. Well, Oldberg is ours, but now what to do with it? Well, one school of thought says that we could give this to the Reunited Kingdom. That might make a little bit of sense. I mean, Rohan doesn't exist anymore. The Reunited Kingdom should own some of this territory, arguably. But the problem there is that Adunabar would probably just attack them and then would be back to where we started. So I don't think I want the Bjornings to have this one. I'd like to have this be a really secure front. I have no interest in owning any of Rohan. So we'll give this a turn or two to think about just what we're going to do. So, this is concerning. We have a Reunited Kingdom army standing right outside Mithlond. And Mithlond does not have enough elves in it to do anything, really. We've got 11 free, or 16 free population we could use. Not enough to retrain any of these guys, and theoretically, this family member could sail away at any moment. I have no idea how long he's been here, but it feels like a while. If he is, we've only got 11 Lindon guards to hold the place against, you know, a pretty sizable Reunited Kingdom army, which could probably overwhelm them. So this is a bit of a problem. I've been thinking in terms of securing my southern border. Yep, here's another army. Okay, with the idea that I could do that in time to then maybe worry about this issue. But I think I may have to cancel some plans. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take these units, who I had been moving down south just to support, and I'll move them back over towards Rivendell. Of course, it would be very sad if the Reunited Kingdom went against lore like this. But we're just going to have to headcanon it like the Shadow Cult something. So let's go ahead and train some more stuff. Imladris Lancers, please. We'll get another unit of those. We've got this unit of Elven Riders. I'm going to put them in Rivendell for now. We're just going to consolidate our forces around there. We've got a family member in the region. This will be fine. This will all be fine. All right, and now I've got an emissary where I want him. We'll see if we can try what I'm hoping will work. And we're going to see if Dale is interested in some new property west of Anduin. We're going to give him 6,000 Mirian plus Oldberg in the hopes that they take it. It's a little, I mean, it's very far from their homelands. They don't have any bordering settlements, so okay, all right, great. Now, of course, this doesn't completely solve the problem. Dale can, of course, continue to attack us in Fairfield, but any units that Dale is going to train in Rohan are going to be at least interestingly different from what we've been seeing by Adunabar. Now, maybe Adunabar will continue to march through Dale's territory to attack us. I'm not sure. I don't think they have military access, but I don't think Adunabar will attack Dale. One question is, if this place rebels due to public order problems, which fortunately I don't see, then Adunabar will probably take it. But we'll have to worry about that later. One thing we can do right now, though, is we've got some pretty formidable elves right here along the, well, near the Undeeps, I guess. We've got a couple units of Imladris Lancers, a couple of the Elven Riders. We've got a few archers, as well as some Galadrim warriors. So let's bring these guys down, and I'd like to clear out Mid-Deeping and take that. Before I do, though, I think I want to take out these trolls. Let's see if they'll stand and fight. And of course they won't. We'll have to worry about them on another turn. But fortunately, up around Thrimfield, we can move our family member right on past Guard of the House of the Bear. Now, let's see. Does he have another family member in here? He does. Okay, so we could theoretically besiege this place and hope that he doesn't just immediately attack us. Okay, we can't quite do that this turn, but we will be able to soon. And since it looks pretty open here, I think I am going to risk bringing these units down into the woods. That will, you know, be a bit of a risk because they could sweep around and hit us from the settlement or this fort theoretically, but I like our odds when we're dealing with such small numbers. Okay, here we go. So that's it then. The last vestige of honor among men is just well, it's gone is what I'm trying to say. There's not any of it left. So we've been besieged in a bunch of places. Let's see how our income is doing. Okay, not too bad actually. We're still making a profit. But check this out. In the midst of all of this badness, Ostinedel has finally grown to the point where we can now build the Lord's Tower. It'll only take one season, but it'll cost almost all of our money. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Let's just do it. Why not, right? I think we've got enough in terms of military power to handle the Reunited Kingdom in the north, and so I think we should be all right. Let's just move these guys over. We can even grab some mercenary bowmen, which I feel like I may as well. And we're going to have our Imladris Lancers. We'll move these guys all over. We'll deal with the last bridge. I really need to secure that. Three ways, of course, is a problem. We only have Elven and mercenaries here, and I don't have anything else that I can quickly send in that direction. But that's why we've got the family member over here. So he's going to sweep through last bridge, and we're going to clear up this place. Yep, betrayed all right. Reunited Kingdom. Because we were allied, we were military access allies, but as soon as there's no other enemies nearby, I mean, it's the Fourth Age, right? Well, I guess I don't need spies over here, though, now that we know the Reunited Kingdom's not even going to bother trying to take these orc holds out, or if they are, it's just going to be a kind of a sad afterthought. Let's bring our spies down south and see if we can tell kind of what they have for strength. And it's not much. But, you know, this does open up an interesting possibility of us taking a Numinas. This feels like Elven country to me. I believe that in the early days of the Third Age, elves dwelt around here, I think. I have some vague memory of a reference to that. So in memory of that, we're definitely going to be taking a Numinas. We'll probably also take Bree. Maybe we'll leave them foremost. I'm not really too sure how that's going to run. But yeah, we're going to have our work cut out for us in the next few turns. We're going to be facing these pretty serious assaults with armies that are not all that strong. We can train some wardens here. Maybe they'll do better against the Reunited Kingdom than they did against the Bjornings. But I guess we just got to hope that all of our good units get over here quickly. Okay, but we can't lose sight of the fact that we're very close to securing our southern borders here, at least in the way that I want to. So let's go here and we'll try to take out these trolls. I think I'll do it with this army just because we've got a lot of archers and I think we can overwhelm them with that. All right, we're attacking them, but because we're basically hidden here, so many of our units, they are going to move forward. And now that we're shooting them, they're going to just commit to that forward push. So hopefully we'll get a chance to deal with them. We actually can aim at their Olag High even from way back here with just about all of our Elven archer units. And we've got another mercenary bowman archer. All right, we managed to take out the enemy captain there. There's still a lot of trolls left, but we are cutting them down gradually. We've worked through those first few hit points, I guess. We are going to take some return fire from their bows, but I'd rather take the trolls out because I don't think we're going to be hurt that badly. Okay, great. Just about all the trolls dead now. There goes the last one. We're going to commit to a rush forward and clean these jerks up. Alright, we're going to actually do some fighting with our Galadrim here. We've got some Uruk swords wavering. I just want to push those archers and get rid of them once and for all. Alright, they are trying to move now, which is very good. Okay, those archers are starting to break. Our own archers are going to get in the mix there, and they're going to go down. Fantastic. Well, you think you're done, and you're just not. We've got a lot of stuff coming up from Mordor, it looks like. We've got, of course, some high-tier infantry, which is nice to see in a way. We've got more trolls, which is not nice to see, but we do have Grond's men, which is an interesting unit. That means that Adunabar has Barad-e-Den, the old site of the Dark Tower itself. This is a unit that can only be trained from there, and it's a quite good one. They're scary, they're effective against armor, and they're very just solid all around. So there's all kinds of stuff here. Even some Black Company, it looks like, which is pretty cool. So we're going to have to clear out a lot of this region, but maybe we won't have to clear out all of it. If we can take the settlement fast and gift it to a faction like Dale, then maybe these guys will go home and start worrying about something else. All right, we've got Holt under siege. They did get their family member back inside somehow. He must have snuck around. I'm not sure at all how that's possible. He was out here before. But at any rate, he's back in the city. There's the ruler inside. I don't know where the heir is because he's not either of these guys, nor is he this guy. But maybe there's another family member inside that fort. At any rate, I'm confident that taking the settlement's not going to eliminate the faction. So we're going to hope to do that next season. All right, we've got a suitable husband here, and he's not too great, but I'm going to take him. I suddenly feel like we need a lot more men. So where's he going to be? Fairfeld? Okay, that's maybe not the best, but we'll move him up north, and we'll get him over into the Eriador region relatively soon here. All right, I think we can also afford to maybe do a bit of fighting for 3 ways, actually. We'll take the governor out of Tharbad, and pretty much just all of these units that I think we can afford to get rid of. Let's even bring, yeah, another unit of Elven Watch, why not? And we'll just send them north here. Let's see, I don't think they're going to be able to show up as reinforcements, unfortunately, if an assault happens. We'll try to get them as close to the city as possible in case we can. Maybe they will, but if not, we'll be able to take this place right back, I think. The problem is that around Mid-Deeping, we've got all these armies, and I really don't want to get ganged up on by 2 stacks with trolls. So what we're going to hope for is get another scout into Mid-Deeping. We've already got one in there, and of course he gets killed. Okay, we've got one in there. That's a 48% chance that they'll manage to open the gates if we attack. If that could work out, that would be amazing. Let's see. Yes, okay. We're going to do it. We're going to assault Mid-Deeping. There's only a couple units inside. Wonderful. Now, opening the gates is a bit of a double-edged sword because you don't get the towers. All of these are still in the possession of the enemy. And so you can run your guys forward, but they're going to take a lot of losses. Now, hopefully both of the enemy units won't be right behind the gate here. I think when you attack and your spy opens the gate, they're kind of spread randomly around the settlement. So there could be like the general right here, but he might be on the other end of the city. So we've got our cav ready. I would really hate to lose some of these units to ballista fire or any of the individual elves to ballista fire. But if there's nobody around, we're going to send the Elven Hunters and the Threshold troops to capture the gate. Okay, what do we have here? All right, it's just the Adunabar nobles. I think we can take that because I don't know that he's going to stick around to fight. We're definitely going to take some losses as we rush the gate, but if we can get in there before we get murdered by ballista fire, if we can get someone up under the walls, then we can bring everybody in safely. All right, and he's showing no interest in coming over to attack me, so that's great. They're taking their sweet time to path over to the gateway. We're losing men, but hey, we're going to get the walls in a second here. That is quite the relief. There we go. Good, good, good. Okay, so I think this is the quickest route up. Let's just rush them over here. May as well capture this gate too. I don't think we're going to do any damage to the enemy by these towers, but it will at least allow us to move safely. We've got the retainers up near the plaza. No one else is outside in the settlement, so I figured we'd just bring them straight up here. Enemy generals rushing out. Let's switch over to spears for this. Should cut them down pretty quickly, and then we're going to use the old tactic of shooting guys in the plaza to enrage them and get them to rush out at us. So I guess we don't need to move even that close. But we've got our Galdrim warriors for what it's worth. They won't have to fight in this battle, at least not unless something goes horribly wrong. But we can have them here to lend a bit of support. All right, literally just one cavalryman outside, and that's the general, of course. A few dark swords in the plaza are going to be cut down by the archers, but basically we've got the city at this point. Let's see, he's going to charge the shield wall here. No, maybe he'll get shot with an arrow. We'll see. Yeah, let's let the archers do their thing, because I think... Yep, there we go. So, finally, after so long, Mid-Deeping is in our hands. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just occupy Mid-Deeping. We're going to get rid of everything else. I could use the cash. And then we're going to see... part of me would like to give this to the Bjornings, as I mentioned, but I think we need to give it to Dale instead. The only trick now I'm realizing is we need to get off of their territory. Okay, we can get into the woods up here onto our own land. We've got men in the settlement. That's fine, shouldn't pose a problem. So let's see if we can offer you, and let's see if 4,000 will do it. All right, now the real question is, now that we no longer share a border with Adunabar, is that it? Do we need to keep fighting them? Will they walk away, or will they stick around and either attack our armies by going through Dale's territory, or will they turn on Dale? Either of those outcomes could be very bad for us. And you know, now that it comes to it, I've got to admit I'm having somewhat second thoughts about taking Holt. As you can see, there's 2 family members inside, and although we do have one who looks to be fairly young in the fort here, that's the only other one that I know of. And the problem is, if he dies randomly or just, gets old, then the faction is eliminated, and then we're up against Rovanian, we're up against Dale again in the south. So I'm wondering if it might be better just to leave this alone and move these armies back into the north and try to hold this whole region maybe with a fort. I think that's what I'll do, at least for now. There's no need to grind the Bjornings into the dirt. We want to maintain kind of a careful balance of power here, so let's actually lift the siege. All right, the first blow is going to fall on Mithlond, it looks like. The Reunited Kingdom is not going to wait around for it to fall. I'm actually glad they're assaulting at this point. We've still got a family member inside, but the balance of power bar does not like this one bit. Now, they've got a family member, but he does not have the best experience, as you can tell. And most of this stuff is low-tier infantry. I think we could maybe hold it off, especially with the nice terrain of the Elven settlement. Yeah, we've got a pretty commanding view from up here, and the 2 routes that they'll have to take to get up to the plaza are on the opposite end of the settlement from them, basically. So these guys are going to be pretty exhausted as they try to climb that hill. Well, they're coming up both avenues, and the timing on this is going to be a little unfortunate. It looks like this host is going to get here first, some King's Swordsmen, and then these guys are going to get here second. The enemy general is way down here. He is going to come up this road, so part of me would like to have the Lindon Guards fight the enemy general, but we're not going to have the men to hold off everything we need to hold off, unfortunately. So I think I'll move the family member over here. We'll just try to get them just outside the borders here. I'll move the Lindon Guard over in this direction too. We're just going to be surrounded. There's just no way around it. Alright, these guys are utterly tired already. We are completely fresh, and so I think we should be doing just fine cutting these guys down. We'll keep the Lindon Guard just barely inside the plaza here so we don't get that message about how we're about to lose it. Alright, here comes the Knights of the White Tree. They're charging into the family member here. Of course, we've got our swords out. Let's see if they do any damage, and I guess we may as well turn and deal with these King's Swordsmen with our Lindon Guard. I'd like them to be over here at some point. Right, so far, we haven't taken any losses in our Elven Retainers. And we are doing some damage to them, it sounds like. They lost 1 man at least. Lindon Guard's doing well. Now, they may get forced out of the plaza, but these guys are going to get forced in, so we shouldn't lose it on a timer. We're doing great, though. The Knights of the White Tree down to half of what they started with, and we're just cutting them down. This is pretty good. The rest of the army here is low enough tier stuff that I think if we get the general killed, then they're probably going to rout pretty quickly here. We just got some experience upgrade on our Lindon Guards, but didn't actually take any losses yet, so that's always nice to see. And our bodyguarders taken out all of the infantry that attacked here. I think it was just a couple of units, but we're just about to kill the enemy general, I think. We're going to ignore those archers. We're going to turn around and face this massive infantry. We get them between the Lindon Guards and our Elven Retainers, and then we should be good. Now, of course, the problem is we can't keep this up in any capacity. We absolutely need reinforcements over here because we just don't have the population to train literally anything else. We've been training Elven, there goes the general, Elven Riders, some Mariners, I think. We retrained a bunch of units that are now in the Brownlands. So, you know, that's good on the one hand, but it makes it difficult now to go all the way back across Middle-earth to defend one of our really important settlements. Well, we have taken some losses with our Lindon Guards, unfortunately. Just 3, I guess. But it does stink to take any losses. But this is it. As you can sort of tell, they're moving towards our Elven Retainers, and we're gradually following up with our Lindon Guards, cutting them down as they turn in this direction. All right, finally some routing. We just had to cut through so many of them to even get to this point. So their morale is better than I was hoping it would be. But this is going to be basically the end. We have defended Mithlond successfully, But now we've got a bunch of holes in the wall, and that means that the next time the Reunited Kingdom attacks, they won't have to wait to build rams. Well, we have heroically defended Mithlond, at least for now, but interestingly, the Reunited Kingdom is backed off of 3 ways as well. I think I'm going to follow this up. We'll pursue this army, or maybe we'll just bypass it and head right to Brie. It doesn't look like there's too much in the area, so we could probably take this and just ignore this small army. In fact, yeah, let's do that right away. I think if we move up here and then grab those mercenaries, put Brie under siege, we'll take it in the following turn. We may as well grab these other couple of archers. And we do have Last Bridge to defend. And so I think this battle is going to wait for the next episode. This is going to be a bridge battle, a Tan Alcar of Forochel. And we're going to go at him with some Imladris Lancers, some Elven Riders. These guys will finally get a chance to shine, hopefully, in this battle, and we'll pursue the Reunited Kingdom west. You know, this is all Gil-galad's old territory, so I guess it's time we took it back. I hope you'll join me for the next episode, and until then, take care.